All right, I had some questions about some of the problems on this solve for any variable assignment. So we're going to start by looking at problem 7, which is that v equals pi r squared h. Now notice that first we've been asked to get the h alone. So if you look at this pi r squared h, you'll notice that everything here is being multiplied. And we know that to undo multiplication, we use division. So to get the h alone, I'm going to divide by the pi and by the r squared. And if I do that on one side, I can do it on the other side. So that will cause my pi's here to cancel, my r squareds to cancel, and I get that v over pi r squared is equal to h. So that's going to be my h answer. It's just v over pi r squared. Now let's go ahead and get the r alone. So again, my equation I started with was v equals pi r squared h. This time it's the r I want alone, so I'm going to divide by the pi and the h on both sides. So that will give me that v over pi h equals r squared. Now remember that to undo a second power, we use a square root. So I'm just going to square root on both sides, and that gives me that the square root of v over pi h equals r. And r is now alone, so that will be my second answer. The square root of v over pi h. Now the second problem I've gotten a lot of questions about here is problem number 9. Notice problem number 9 says that a equals b1 plus b2 over 2 times h. Now the first thing we've been asked to get alone is the h. So I'm going to take the equation, which is that a equals b1 plus b2 over 2 times h. And I am going to put this b1 and b2 in parentheses and then put that h on top of the fraction so that I can think of this as just one fraction. Now to get rid of that fraction, I'm going to go ahead and multiply on both sides by 2. That gives me that 2a equals b1 plus b2 times h. Now I want the h alone, but notice how b1 and b2 are here in this parenthesis together. So because they're tied together in a parenthesis, I can divide them both off at the same time. So I'm going to divide on both sides by my parenthesis b1 plus b2. And that will give me that 2a over b1 plus b2 equals h. So there's my h answer, 2a over b1 plus b2. Next I'm going to go ahead and get the b1 alone. So again, I'm going to start with this original equation, which was that a equals b1 plus b2 times h all over 2. Now once again, my first step, I want to get rid of the fraction, so I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. That gives me that 2a equals b1 plus b2 times h. Now since this time I want the b1 alone, I'm going to get rid of the h, so I'm going to do that by dividing on both sides of this equation by h. That will cancel my h's here, and I am left with 2a over h equals b1 plus b2. Now since it's the b1 that I want to be alone, I'm going to move the b2, and I'm going to do that by just subtracting b2 over to the other side. That will give me that 2a over h minus b2 is equal to b1. So there's my b1 answer. It is that 2a over h minus b2 is equal to b1. Now b2 is going to work in a similar way, so I'm going to let you go ahead and figure out that b2 answer by yourself.